hello, everyone. Before we get
Hello.
too much into this, can y'all hear us? Important this time.
I hate to say, but that picture, the icon, is the little 404 error again. So,
Mm. Oh, damn.
I mean, that's yes, I
Yes,
can hear
we
you.
can, they can hear
All right.
us. Yes, okay. Y'all
Oh,
weren't here
goody, goody,
for
goody,
last.
goody.
We tried this last week, and then we realized no one could hear either three of us, and
Mm-mm.
StreamYard had like no answer for it.
Mm.
And they even said, "Well, you should have closed it out, and tried a new one." I'm like, "That's the first thing we did." Okay, didn't work.
Yeah.
Now we're happy that we can actually get into this because I'm like, I'm not gonna get much into this until I know y'all can hear us. Because
Yeah.
poor Josh was introducing himself to our listeners here in Japan, and
Quit.
nothing.
Poof. Well, spirits
I'm
didn't
not
have
getting
a
into
calling
this
the other
until
day.
people can hear us. So
The
I'm
spirits didn't
glad
like
y'all
it.
can hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the comments brought up, so I didn't see anybody chatting. I did that whole introduction, and then I click on it, and I see like
And
there's
I'm
no
like, wait,
audio.
no one can hear us. I'm like, wait, who? Me? Him? Oh, all three of us. That's not good.
Oh, that was funny. Well, at
So
least the spirits are with us today.
I saw that you were doing dolls right before this.
Well,
Ooh.
we are mainly just looking at a certain person that's selling dolls, and they've been. I made a video on them just showing because they pretty much they'll set a doll up and they'll put the K2, the REM pod, and a mag light next to the doll, and all those can be manually set off by anybody. That
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as you're using the right tools, like you can make the REM pod go off by walkie-talkie. You can make the K2 go off by anything electrical, but
Your cell
a
phone.
phone is yeah, that's the most common and easiest one. And the mag light is set to go off because if it's the one that you buy online, which I had Kenny Biddle, he's the one that does like the scientific
Mm-hmm.
studies of everything, and he explained how the light bulb, because it's not the LED
Mm-hmm.
type, it's the older ones that will eventually get hot, and that expands inside of the the flashlight and cause the connectors to touch. And then
Mm-hmm.
once it touches, it starts to cool down and then it shuts back off. So that's why it comes on and goes off. But anyways, yeah, this person was doing this with their dolls and selling them for ridiculous prices. Like they're going, some of them going for like $300.
That's
And it,
unbelievable.
yeah, and it's obvious. So I wanted to bring up the dolls because I've seen that she's still at it right now. Like she added so many more, and we were going through her pictures, and behind one of the dolls is two trash bags that are just full of like stuff. You can tell it's stuffed animals that she's just claiming that are haunted. Like it's yeah. I just wanted to bring it back up and
Address it
yeah,
properly.
yeah,
But
making hopefully make people aware of the scam that some people do.
yeah, it's unbelievable. And
We even
you
had
know
someone on the podcast once saying that most of the dolls you see online, they're not haunted, but a lot of people spend three, four, $500, if not more, on basically a story.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like you're buying, you're. He's like, hey, if you want to spend that much money on a story, go for it. But that's
Yeah.
basically what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, I agree with some of the stuff I've seen posted.
Yeah, and they also have one of the spirit talking things going off, and a lot of times, like you'll hear something that sounds like something, which I mean, I've also done a video where like people will listen, kind of like the SB7 or the S box. Like if you're listening to that and something comes through, if you're at a paranormal investigation or something like that, you're gonna want to hear something
Mm-hmm.
evil or something like that. So your mind's already like registered to hear something like that. So I did somebody's video. I don't remember who it was, but they played the sound, but they also put the words on the screen. So you're reading what this person's hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that same audio clip, took away the words, and I replayed that same audio clip like 5 or 6 times, and I put up different words. So you're reading the words, and every time it's replayed, and if you're reading that word, you're going to hear what is on the screen to that same audio. So
Yeah.
it's just another trick that some people play.
There's another. I want to address something about the dolls. There are some people who will go out and spend thousands of dollars on buying a haunted doll, and finding out that it is haunted and they can't handle it, so they don't know what the hell to do with it afterwards when they purchase it. And I say, you know what? If you can't handle the damn thing, don't buy the friggin' doll, because it takes all of us to find somebody who can rescue it and take care of it properly, and including paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them who buy haunted dolls, and when they do stuff in their house, they said, I gotta get rid of this. I can't, I'm not gonna deal with this. So they end up throwing it in the garbage, right? And I said, you moron. I said something worse than that, right? I'm being polite here. I wasn't polite back then when I thought about it. They said, why'd you buy the damn thing if you didn't know what the hell you're getting into? And he said, well, I thought it'd be really cool. I said, yeah, you think it'd be really cool. You're kind of stupid in that way, right? Because you don't know what the hell you don't know what the hell you're getting into when you buy something like that. And it starts messing with you. It's messing in your house. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I just, okay. I'm done. Like, he said, well, what do you suggest? I said, would I suggest? Yeah, not going there. See ya.
Well, it's because people think it's a cool thing to do, so they get
Yeah,
one. But it's
yeah,
like, well, what happens when you get one that's not friendly?
yeah.
It's
Remember in
now
our
in your
chat
house.
room?
You
Remember
brought
in
it
our
into
chat
your
room?
house.
That guy, he was messaging me every 15 minutes. I go, oh God, here we go again. Like, I'm saying this over and over and over again. Like, gee whiz, I feel like I'm a broken record because. Anyways, I haven't found out anything what happened to that other adult. So I'm, I just okay. I'm done. Next, like it's just the end thing to do is really not the end thing to do for everyone, and it's not for everyone. Not everyone should have one, even if they're in the paranormal. It's just something that it can create a big headache in the family, and especially if you have children in the house, and people who really don't know what to do or how to handle it. Yeah, that's a whole
Just
new
looking
story.
on eBay, I didn't even think about bringing that up on our live stream. And yeah, somebody's selling this haunted doll, $11,999.
Oh my
It's like
god.
Damn,
14 people are watching this. Like that is insane.
damn. You know, if you had brains, you wouldn't buy it, right? Or if you really know what you're getting into, yeah, okay, I get it. But $1,400, save your money, right?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's making like these like really creepy haunted looking dolls and selling them, not saying that they're haunted, but just for the,
Claiming the label is haunted, right?
I mean, just making it and just like somebody to have it as a prop, like Chucky. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
just having the dolls around, just I mean, people will spend good money on them,
yeah.
but to claim them all as being haunted, it's
It's ridiculous, isn't it? But there is a market out there, and they are saying, well, this doll's for say it's so much $100, and yeah, it's really haunted. See the lights were blinking and see the
Mm-hmm.
couples are blinking and oh, see, it's haunted. They go, yeah, right. And then there's other people who are out there who are like paranormal vampires, and they place their negative energy on the doll, and the doll becomes really negative, and they want people to buy it. That I cannot handle, and that is just totally against the rule of anything that I believe in. You just okay. Next subject. you know, like, uh, yeah. So, what's your most interesting place that you've ever been to?
How about you also like properly introduce yourself? Because I'm sure we also have listeners
Yeah,
who don't know who you are.
yeah.
Yeah. Josh of
You tried to last time, but unfortunately, it was unless you could lip read, you weren't getting it.
yeah. There was a lot said too. Uh,
Okay.
so just a little bit about me. My name's Josh from Paranormal Seekers, and I started Paranormal Seekers as I was a or I guess paranormal investigator slash ghost hunter at the beginning. I never knew anything about like the debunkers or anything like that because I watched people on YouTube.
Mm,
Uh, Big influencers for me was Paranormal Nightmare, Paranormal Quest, and I was also watching the other people that uh, like I'm even more ashamed of watching them and like actually believing them. But like Twin Paranormal and like oh my gosh, and just people like that just go out and use the same tools. So I got into investigating, but Paranormal Nightmare is the one that got me out,
mm,
like
mm,
actually wanting to go out and actually do it. So after hitting a few locations for about a year, well, we hit quite a bit of locations, but nothing was happening, and we were using like the same tools and everything. It's like, what are we doing wrong?
Mhm.
Why can't we
mm,
get all the activity that they're getting on their videos? And then I found debunkers and come to find out that um, just a lot of things wasn't what they seemed like.
mm,
So I it made sense to me, like just listening to like what the debunkers were saying about these guys, and it's all set up, and this is how they're doing this, and I mean it made complete sense. And
mm,
just having the experience of investigating and watching them now, it's like I
mhm,
can't even believe that I even fell for any of that crap. But
mm,
yeah, so I spend most of my time now uh, debunking and just watching the paranormal, and also it's also trying to help people because I wasn't like fake like some of them channels are.
mhm,
I was highly misguided from watching them, and I
mm,
feel like that happens with a lot of the like new teams that are getting into
mhm,
investigating. They see like, oh, we got to have the K2, we got to have this REM pod, we got to have the most expensive REM pod because that's what this team's using.
mhm,
So now they're wasting what 300-400 hours on a REM pod, or
mm,
no, I think REM pods go for like 200. It's the music box that is
mhm,
Yeah,
going for $400. They got
mm,
the teddy bear REM pod that's what 400-500 hours.
yeah. I've looked into it. It can be like 6 or 7 too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's crazy what yeah. So that's me. I just I just got I, I don't know. I just wanted to pretty much expose the people that are out there. Just
Mm,
they don't care about anything besides clicks and views. They don't they
yeah.
the a lot of those bigger channels, they don't care one bit about actually catching
Mm,
real paranormal.
yeah. That's true. And for the people who do work hard at it, who do spend the time and the effort of doing that, it makes everybody looks bad.
Yeah, yep, Yeah, because
Yeah.
like now, I mean, watching people, it's like I used to be like a pretty much a full believer, and
Hmm.
then like I'm leaning more towards being skeptic. But there's like I said, there's been two things that's happened personally to me, not caught on camera or anything, but there's two
Hmm.
things that I can't explain what happened, and it's because of those two things is the reason why I'm still not fully skeptic. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people nowadays, even the ones that are not really big, make you feel kind of bad or not, or that you're not a real paranormal investigator if you are not spending thousands of dollars on equipment.
Hmm.
And I've always looked back and I'm like, I feel like when I first began, when I didn't have all that expensive stuff, I feel like I had more activity then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're when you didn't have all that stuff, you were focused on what you should be focusing on. And now that
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
got 20 different REM pods and stuff, now you're just like waiting to see if one of those light up or something like that. So now your main focus is on all these gadgets instead of what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's why I don't like using equipment. That's why I guess I like just me being out there and seeing and feeling what I feel, and understanding it and hearing it, and have both ears open, and have both eyes open, have my inner self open, and just grasping what I feel and what I hear and what I see, and using that. It's the most biggest part of equipment that you could ever have, and it works. And the only reason why I like certain types of equipment is to say, okay, yeah, you heard that, or give confirmation. But other than that, yeah, whatever.
Really what some is for. I realized here in Japan, because a lot of people ask me why I don't even try in Japan with a lot of the equipment, because it's pointless here in Japan, and that's
Hmm.
because the spirits here are much older than, obviously because Japan is much older than the U.S.,
Hmm.
where they don't understand the technology. Like it could just be lights. Like you would be like, oh, it's just lights up, and they're gonna be like, I don't know you, and you want me to trust you?
Yeah,
They're like,
you
yeah, just touch it. It's not gonna hurt you. Just gonna light up. They're like, yeah, I don't know you.
like. I'm not gonna do it. Put it away. I did that in Hiroshima when I went to the dome. I just the only thing I bought was little cat balls, okay, and I put it inside the fence. The whole area's fenced off, but I put it inside the fence on the grass. And they said, "What?" Did they ask me, "What the heck is that?" And I said, "Cat balls. It's really cool. If you press the button, if you go near it, it'll light up." And they said, "Put that away." So I put it away. Okay. So I gathered up my cat balls and I put it back in my bag, and I said, "Okay, let's talk." And they said, "Okay, we'll talk." So yeah, they set the
Like
conditions.
they don't know
Yeah.
what this new technology is.
No. No. And they'd rather me just talk to them instead of putting out something that goes flashy, flashy, or blinky, blinky.
Because like I said, they even said, I don't know you, and you're telling me trust me. It's like the
Yeah.
internet when someone says like, oh, trusted reports, and you're like, yeah, trusted reports is trust me, brah.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know you,
Yeah.
and you're telling me no, it's just not gonna hurt you. They're like, yeah, no.
Yeah. We're not gonna do this. Like either you talk to me this way, or I'm not gonna talk to you at all, and your leg is gonna hurt more. I said, yeah. And that time I had knee issues, really bad ones. And he said, okay, I'll talk to you. Don't touch my knees anymore. We'll do this way. Yeah, they gave me the conditions, and I said, okay, I'll listen to you, and we'll do it that way. Eh, they can get scary here. They can be really. They can be in your face, or they can say, "Well, I'm not gonna do this. You leave, or else I'll make you leave." And believe me, you'd be running if they didn't like you. Yeah. Um, if they saw you that you didn't like your energy, they'll come after you. That's how Japan, and that's how the spirits are here. It's like either I'm in your face, or I'm gonna tell you what to do, and if you don't like it, you can bleep and leave. Yeah. So you are very careful about where you go, how you approach them, how you talk to them, and what you do in front of them, because they're gonna set the grounds. And you say, no, well, I'm an investigator. Blah blah blah, and I'm gonna do this. And if you don't like, you can do that, and they're not gonna listen to you. It's just a different, really different atmosphere, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah, someone asked me if I would try one that was something that looks old-fashioned to them, like maybe a lantern. Maybe they'd be more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that. And I would try it, but I haven't seen one, obviously, that looks old-fashioned because everyone tries to make everything look like the newer stuff today. But like I said, they don't. It's not with their time. So
No.
if they looking at something, if it's not like that or a candle, they're just like, yeah, I don't know what this is. So if it's not with their time period, they're not going to trust it. I
No.
haven't really seen anything look old enough. And even if you do see something close, they charge like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm like, yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna spend that much
No.
money on the experiment to see if it works.
No.
Yeah, we well, we went to the Mansfield Reformatory. I think that was the one place that we didn't use that much equipment. This
Mm-hmm.
was when this was like one of my main investigations after getting into debunking myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take anything more than just my REM pod, just to
Mm-hmm.
use as a tool experiment type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But before we went, we knew that we were going like 3 months before the
Mm-hmm.
investigation. And the guy that I investigated with, he was an engineer. He made many REM pods and stuff for us, and he had 3D printers. So I told him an idea because we were going to a prison. It would be cool to have a REM pod that looks like a cigarette pack, and
Mm-hmm.
he was able to do that. Like one, like there was like two cigarettes that stuck out, and one of them was the antenna, and it looked just like a cigarette pack. And he made it like Paranormal Seekers style.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool to have that. So I mean, I don't know if you guys know anybody that like does like engineering and stuff like that, but it was a cool idea. I honestly don't even know if I think we might have used it one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I doubt it went off because that was an investigation that we went there without hardly any equipment at all,
Mm-hmm.
and we were more focused on what was going on around us. And surprisingly, yeah, we didn't get anything that investigation.
Mm.
I always, like I said, I always get more. The less equipment I have, I feel like I get the more. I don't want to say evidence. I have more things happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because I have less equipment
Mm-hmm.
or when we're setting up. That's when I'll start getting a lot of stuff. Have everything turned on. You're not really getting anything. Start cleaning up everything. That's all of a sudden when it picks up again.
Because you're more receptive, and they see you. Well, like I said, spirits know everything. They know who you are, what you're made of, and the minute you walk in that door, so they're aware of everything. And as soon as they see your equipment, oh, one of them, right? And they said, okay, let's have fun. Let's not play with it. And let's just be really quiet. And when they pack up, when you're packing up, they said, okay, now we're going to have fun. We're going to do our thing here, and we're going to make things move. We're going to make a rock fall off the wall or whatever. And yeah, it's like you're more aware of your surroundings without your equipment than with your equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're more active and this thing. Okay, now we're gonna do things my way. So yeah, you will see a lot more, you'll feel a lot more, and they'll even come up and they'll even talk to you too more because you're focused on them, not that. I always say it's good to go out with a 35 millimeter camera that takes film, take lots of pictures, have a low speed setting, and leave the lens wide open and get what you get and see what you can get. And I used to use high speed film too. I have 1600 high speed film, because I used to work in a camera store and I used to get really good film. But yeah, stuff like that is really cool. You get more cool stuff doing it that way than you have with all the gadgets and all the digital cameras around in the house, right? I don't know. I'm an old school person. I like old school things. I, it seems like it's more honest. You get more, and you can't manipulate a
Right.
regular film. Yeah, with a regular camera that takes regular film. The only problem is now is trying to get it processed right because a lot of place doesn't have people who can print films and develop negatives anymore. There are hardly any anymore, but they're coming back in
But
Japan now. Yeah, they're coming back in Japan now because there's a lot more camera buffs now who like the old style film and negative. So yeah, we might be seeing more of it here, and hopefully it'll take on everywhere else too.
I don't know any place around that has them.
Yeah.
and I've said this before on the show that I feel like all paranormal teams really should considering having a skeptic in the group. And the reason
Hmm.
why I say that is I realize that every team that has that skeptic works the hardest. That when anything, and I mean anything happens,
Yeah.
they try to prove to everyone this is not
Hmm.
paranormal,
Yeah.
and they work the hardest to prove that it's not. And I'm like, yeah, this, and that's why I feel like every team should at least have one skeptic
Yep.
because a lot of teams, anything happens at all, their
Hmm.
first instinct was, "Oh my gosh, it's the ghost." And
Like,
a skeptic is when you don't
yeah.
believe in ghosts, you're like, absolutely not. Let me tell you what this really is.
Yeah.
It
And
keeps us normal. It keeps us in line. It keeps us focused because not everything is paranormal, right?
Yeah,
I bring him up again. If you guys can find yourself a Kenny Biddle, that's a guy you want to take with you. he eh, I investigated with him one time, and this was at the Bel Air house, and this was my first time ever meeting him. Like I had heard of him and stuff, but
Hmm.
this was the first time actually like meeting him, and we're we're sitting at the table, uh, and we were talking about like the history and stuff, and he's like, "Well, hold on a minute," and he goes to his bag, comes back with these folders of documents of like actual documented people that had passed out or passed away in the house or in the area. He had so much information
Hmm.
for this location before we even got there, and yeah, just like the stuff that he does, it's it's really awesome, and it's uh I think when I left that investigation, like I had a whole different like train of
Mm.
thought of like paranormal and stuff. So yeah, he's definitely the guy.
Well, it helps to do your homework, that's for sure, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't. We don't know anything about anything, about anywhere, about anything, about what happened anywhere. It's just here we go again. Like
we don't have vital records.
no,
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
she's not talking about like shrines or temples. A lot of times we'll
no.
have like stuff on that. But like if you find an individual property out there,
Hmm.
you don't unless an older neighbor knows the history, you're
Hmm.
not going to find out the history.
Yeah, unless your neighbor's about 80 years old and who knows a lot, you're not gonna find out anything because either they had information and it got scrapped or they buried it because it's haunted and the area is prime property, right? Real estate property, and they want to sell it and they want people to buy it, right? But when you find out it's haunted, no one's gonna buy it, right?
Hmm.
So they
Well, here
scrapped it.
here in the U.S., that's the top of the charts now. Everybody wants to buy
Yeah.
a location like that and then charge people $1,000 to.
Yeah, I've tried that's what people are saying. It's harder to be you can't, if you don't want the big team, it's a lot harder because
Yeah.
you're paying so much more yourself to do it compared to just splitting up within 10. I
Yeah.
personally don't like big teams myself.
No.
So that always sucks for that.
Yeah.
Because
And
like the USS North Carolina, that is 1,100 to
mhm.
investigate for the night.
Mhm.
So if you're trying to do it within yourself, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
2 people, that's a lot of money. 3 people, that's a lot of money. 10 people, that's what I usually try to do. 10 people,
Yeah.
and I split up that way so it's more affordable. The problem with 10 people is you have to make
Contamination.
sure it's 10 people
Yeah.
you can you can investigate with. Like I'm not compatible with everyone to be
Yeah.
able to do the paranormal investigations. I realize that, and it's a lot of people who, if you're making unnecessary noise, I'm gonna get
Mhm.
irritated at you because I'm trying to listen to anything else but you.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting there making noise, unnecessary noises,
Yeah.
I understand occasionally you do have fun, but when you do it all the time, I'm like, yo, I need quietness because you're not gonna pick if if you hear a whisper, you're not gonna get that. Or if even if you do record a whisper,
Mhm.
either someone's talking over it or it's hard
Mhm.
to say this is real evidence because they're like, well, how do you know it wasn't so and so talking again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like little places too. I like little places off the grid that are haunted that people would never think of going.
Yeah.
I like
I would
going there
prefer
for.
that.
Yeah.
You get more evidence
Yeah.
that way, and what
And
everyone
you know what?
does it.
They can be more cool, more haunted because they don't get a lot of people, and it's not something that is well, everyone knows, like, for example, everyone knows the suicide forest in Toronto, Aokihara Forest. Everyone knows that. Everyone wants to go there, right? But I know a lot of the other places that have the same energy that are suicidal, that's not going to come after you. It's a lot safer, and you can go visit, right? And the spirits are going to stay on that side. You're going to be safe on this side, right? So, but going into walk, you got to be an idiot if you're going to walk in the forest, right? Because people go there to die, okay? And you don't want to be messing with that energy because they'll mess with your energy. And sooner or later, you're not going to be able to come out, or something horrible, tragic might happen to you. So there's a lot of better places to visit that are a lot safer, that are a lot more cool, and they're a lot more freaky. And it's, I don't know. It's up to you. But you get this craze where people have to go there. You have to go in it. You have to do
Hmm.
this. You have to do that. I said, yeah, don't be an idiot. And,
It's taken people who's been in there curious who
yeah,
tell people, yeah, I'm not gonna do it in there because I'm not depressed or anything. But it's taken people, they're not quite sure why, and
yeah,
it's one of those. Did it drive it to them? Did it
yeah,
enhance something?
yeah.
I mean, I knew someone who told me him and his friends went there. He's like, just to let you know, I'm not sensitive to anything, so it's not one of those sensitive medium things. So that's not me. I
Hmm.
went in there, and like I said, I was with a group of people. Outside, nothing. But as soon as I stepped into the forest, I started hearing a really, really low hum.
Hmm.
No one else heard it, but since it was really low, he thought nothing of it. So he said the further they walked in, it got gradually louder.
Hmm.
And then he kept asking people, "Are you sure you don't hear this humming noise?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah.
So he was still the only one hearing it. He said after 20 minutes, it was so deafening loud to him that he turned to everyone. He's like, "We have to go. We
Yeah.
have to go now." And he left. He's like, it started getting less and less when I left. And as soon as I stepped out of the forest, did not hear it anymore.
It would have taken him out if he stayed there and
Probably
he
because
was
that's
gone.
what people are saying, that the humming noise is usually a first sign to like
Yeah.
a portal opening or something, or
Yeah.
you're gonna be drawn into the next dimension.
Yeah. Like, even going to Aoyama Cemetery here in Tokyo is a lot safer than going there. You know what I mean? You're going to a haunted cemetery. Yeah, I know it's in Tokyo. Yeah, I've been there. I've taken my friend there. Amanda knows. Our friends that I've taken there. Yeah, it was cool. It was creepy. The air was thick. It was really 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 daunting. You couldn't hardly breathe in some areas. But man, the energy there was really like wow compared to going there and just risking your life. Like, pick your choice, right? Which one would you rather go to? I'd take you to the cemetery. We'll have a lot more fun. Or I'd take you to the suicide waterfall. We'll have more fun there too. And take you to the shrine that's haunted too, because samurai warriors used to have a battle there, and they were fighting with swords, and their bodies were left to die on the mountains. That was more cool than going to a crazy place that's more terrifying and dangerous. I don't know. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, it's around here. It's if Sam and Colby went to it, everybody and their mom's going to it, and I feel like the more people that go to it, and if you have to schedule and
Yeah.
wait 6 months just to get in, then I don't think it's worth it.
No.
You're just if there is paranormal and if they are there, they done left themselves,
Yeah.
having to deal with these people every single day, and
Yeah. And it's the thing is like setting yourself up for like, or else, do I want to live tomorrow? Or do I want to be talking about it tomorrow? Which would you rather do? I'd rather be living to talk about it tomorrow and take great video evidence instead of setting myself up to be hurt and
yeah,
possibly not come out alive. Because Japan is really weird. Spirits can get in your face, can hurt you, and make you not want to live tomorrow. And you just have to, doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how strong you are, right, Amanda? It,
Yeah.
they just don't give a rat's ass about you. And that's why we try to say if you're gonna come here, if you're gonna do an investigation, due diligence, right? Like, don't think that, well, hey, I'm this great paranormal investigator, everyone knows me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna investigate, and yeah, you don't like it, you could stuff it. Well, no, it's not gonna work, right, Amanda?
The problem with these locations that he was saying, like Sam and Kobe went to, and some of the other paranormal, the bigger ones did for their shows. When they went there, the problem is after that episode is released, a lot of people have shown pictures of, all right, I went there before they went there, and this is how much I spent on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they went there, this is a Tuesday, which is the slowest day of the week, and the
Mm-hmm.
price difference
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
They're like, that's just on a Tuesday. I'm not even going to
Mm.
show you what it is now for a Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeannie also asked, how long you guys been investigating for? I'm gonna see if I can find any prices real quick. How long have you
Okay.
guys both been investigating?
Us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been doing this on and off for less than 20 years now.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Well,
Uh.
it's just because like I grew up, so I was sensitive to I was sensitive. I was more of I could feel like where they were, male or
Mm-hmm.
female. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when they talked, I could hear them. But I was raised as a Baptist minister's daughter, so they feel like if you had any of those gifts at all, you were either doing witchcraft,
Mm-hmm.
or you did something to get a demon attachment, or you had a demon
Mm-hmm.
in you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So I had to hid everything deep down. I just really couldn't publicly do it at the time, especially when I was really younger.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do more in secret then, just because of that. Just because, like I said, no one believed no one believed me when I said, no, I'm not doing witchcraft. Especially because at that time,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about witchcraft. The closest thing I knew to witchcraft was Hocus Pocus movies, and that's
Hmm.
because they were Disney.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not able to do that. Okay, that's definitely not me. So it's just one of those things where no one really believes you. It's more of a scare kind of thing now.
Hmm.
Do Christians still fear when they find out you're into the paranormal? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They fear that too here. They say, you can't do this. I said,
Listen,
why can't I?
yeah, they fear regardless what religion they are here.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's just them
Catholic.
in
They don't
general
like
here.
it.
They don't. There
They don't
is no
like it.
public places you can investigate. Sorry, there's no private places you can investigate.
No.
You can't book a private investigation anywhere. It's not a thing. So yeah, I could technically go to a park and do investigation, but there's so many factors to
Yeah.
there's so many factors of what could have set it off, so I can't really prove that anything of it was paranormal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna bother. I'm not even if I do, I'm not gonna bother filming it because there's just too many factors involved.
I've been doing it. I came late into my abilities. So the only thing that I heard was, go and kill yourself. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'm not going to unalive myself. No, not going to do that. So I moved out of the place that was really bad. And we moved into this house. And I've been doing it ever since I moved here. It's about 3 years plus now. And I do private residentials. I go out when I have friends come visit. I said, let's go and do an investigations. So they come along. We go this, we go there, and we go to cemeteries. And we went to the OEM cemetery. We went to Suicide Waterfall. We went to certain places, and yeah, I do mostly residentials. And my most clients are mostly in the United States. Would you believe it? So I have nobody in Japan who would reach out, who are frightened to death, because they'll just pack up their bags and move. That's
We
the
don't have
thing here.
paranormal teams here.
No. And you can't ask for help because no one's going to help you. Like me, 20 years I did a really bad haunted suicide condo. People would unalive themselves. The last person was the 18th person before we that happened in the summertime, so we moved out in October and we ran. I'm telling you, we ran. And yeah, 90%, 80, what was it? I only took my big closet, my big dresser, and the kids left her their stuff that they didn't need, and we just threw everything out, and we bought everything new when we moved here. Yeah, it's like, if you ask for help and you live overseas, good luck. If you want to find a priest that would help you, good luck, because nobody would believe you, and so you're stuck, right, Amanda, all by
Yeah,
yourself.
a lot of people ask why don't you just reach out to like the monks of the temple? They're not gonna help you either.
No.
Most may, at the very most, you might find someone who sends you blessed sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't use sage here. You can't find
No.
sage here. It's
Mm.
sea salt.
Yeah. So yeah, everything is used as sea salt. Uh, I had to I had to get my friend from Indiana to send me sage, but that didn't work either, right? So
Well,
yeah,
sage doesn't mean anything to them
no,
here, so that's
no,
what I
no,
tell
no.
people. It's like more, and that's why I tell people I I do think if you're going to help people, especially with residents, you really should be learning like the different religions and what their views
Yeah,
are on
yeah, yeah,
paranormal and demons and how
yeah,
they handle it. Because, like I said,
yeah,
if you come here and you start saging a place, they're gonna think you're crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I went to your house, Josh, went outside, got some dandelions, came in and set on fire, you're gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
yeah.
You're gonna be like, "This is doing nothing." I
You're
was like,
gonna
"Yeah, that's pretty
laugh
much
at
the
us.
same thing."
You're gonna start
Sage,
laughing at, right? You go see,
yeah.
what the
It's
hell?
like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
unfortunately, it's the same way I pretty much started too. I mean, I'm guilty of it, but a lot of teams that do paranormal investigating, or if you want to call it ghost hunting, I
Hmm.
would probably more towards ghost hunting because they're
Yeah.
just after. But yeah, they just watch a couple channels on YouTube and
Mhm.
like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and do this, and they see the equipment they're using. They go out not knowing how any even the equipment works itself. Like they
Yeah.
just, all right, you turn it on, set it down. If it goes off, you got a ghost. That's how a lot of these channels do, and yeah, they'll
You know
do
what?
a react to it, and they'll put a thumbnail up of them with the
Yeah.
O face. Oh my
Yeah.
god, and that's it.
And you know what really frustrates me is some of these paranormal teams say, "Yeah, I'll help you." They go out and they do something, and it makes the spirits more angry. And then I was called in afterwards. I said, "What the heck?" And I got so angry because they messed it up, and now I have to fix their mess up and spend more time trying to fix the place so they can live in it. And just like, you know, better don't do
do
anything. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it, right?
do you show up to like residents, and do you ever like show up and they tell you that they've done their own investigations before
No,
you come?
no, the house owner told me that they had this team that came in and it got worse.
Because somebody that I know here, Boo Productions, he does residentials, and he says that pretty much everybody that he goes to their houses will
Mhm.
tell them that they used the Spirit Talker app, and that's how they know they got ghosts and demons in their house
Yeah.
I think it's
because
going to
of
go
the
off
app.
regardless of where you bring it.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, I had a client, okay, who I didn't know from a hole in the ground. My friend who knew them, who was a friend of a friend, told me that they used a Ouija board in the house and they unleashed something in the house, right? And they didn't tell me. And here was trying to help them, pulling everything out of my bag of goodies that I had, right? And nothing worked. When I found out from my friend who told me that she told me that she used a Ouija board and she burnt it, I said, "Okay, I'm done." I dumped that client like a hot potato because you lied to me. You don't lie. You don't. You you don't come up and not say what you did because they opened up another door and they didn't close. They didn't put it back and they didn't close it. Well, they just did it as a fun thing to do in their home, right? Like,
Yeah.
damn. And I got so mad. I didn't talk to them. I just unfriended them. I just, yeah, and I just said, "Well, you're on your own, lady." And I even tried to get another team out there to help them. It's, yeah, because I've got connections all over the place, right? And, like it was useless. And I talked to another clairvoyant who I'm really good friends with. We talk about certain things if I needed his help. And I said, "You know what? They played with a Ouija board. They didn't tell us." He goes, "Oh, damn." He goes, "Yeah, well, that's on them. Well, nobody's going to help them afterwards." That. And I said, "Yeah, no one's going to help them." And so, c'est la vie. That's what we did. Like, people do the most dumbest things. Like,
Here in the U.S., we used to have a store called KB Toys,
mm-hmm.
and they sold glow in the dark Ouija boards. And I remember buying one when I was like 14, 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, yeah, you could buy it buy them as kids, and there
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, because I tell people
It's,
you can buy them at 3 years old as long as you give them
yeah.
money. It's not illegal. They can't stuff you.
Oh,
it's,
Amanda, remember you saw that we posted it online. Remember in a chat room. Remember about this Ouija board that was on sale for kids. Remember, not too long ago, right?
They're making
And
a Barbie. They made a Barbie one. They've even made another one where I posted it, and I actually went to Amazon, and this is a real thing.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a toddler's. What the hell? I remember seeing it. It's like there's no way that's real. I
Every
watched.
before I posted it, I went and I found it on Amazon, and I'm like, oh my god. There's
Yeah.
another one I found on Amazon. I forgot the name of it, but if they don't call it the spirit board, it's like
Hmm.
the Jesus board or something, where it looks like a Ouija board, but instead it has Jesus's face on it, and it's to contact angels or contact Jesus. So it's targeted towards Christians.
Hmm. Like,
It's actually on there because at first I was like, no way, no way, and I went on Amazon and I found it, and I'm like, what is this?
yeah.
There's another one I posted on from there, and I took a picture of it. And I was looking at Ouija boards, and I was like, this cannot be real. There's some with kittens on them, and I'm like, how many little girls just see kittens and buy it?
Oh, I'm trying to think of what it was. I think it was like the little toddler things that you get that like teach you the alphabet. I think that
Hmm.
that's what it was. I think it was like ones that you push, and it was a Ouija board. But I don't know if it's real though. I watched somebody reacting to like weird shit, and that was on there. I was like, "There's no way that's real."
Mm.
I
Yeah, I looked to make sure it's
can't
on
find it.
Amazon before I posted it.
今オンラインやってる。
I guess Target sells them now too.
Yeah.
Target's not new.
The only place I went that had them was Spencer's.
Hmm.
Besides the town that I work in, there's like this little shop that they sell like stuff like that. They sell Ouija boards, like incense, I don't know, just about everything like spiritual. They sold one there, but I think they're going for, I think Spencer's, yeah, right here, Spencer's $35.
Oh wow.
They're not. I think I paid like $15 when it was
Yeah, I
at
was gonna
KB
say I
Toys.
saw like the kid ones or ones made to look more pretty for kids for like $12.99.
Yeah.
Damn.
So the one that I had was cool. It glue in the dark. I mean,
Wow.
uh,
It's just I don't know. I I can't say well, you can't tell a person don't buy it, right? You can't stop them from doing that because they're gonna go out and buy it whether they want to or not. It's
yeah, I mean, I would like to have one just to put up on like display. Like maybe leave it in the box and everything. Probably
Yeah,
still
yeah,
wrapped up, but it'd just be like a neat little decoration type thing.
yeah.
that's
But
what I'm about
yeah,
doing. Just the Jesus one because I'm like, there's no way anyone has ever. If I don't get this thing,
yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of people watch movies with Ouija boards in them or seances, and they're like, oh, I can do that. Now I know everything I need to know. It's a Hollywood movie. It does not teach you everything you need to know.
今オンラインやってる。
I wish it did, but it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Most things here in Japan, what
Yeah.
they see here video wise, this is the one reason why the younger generation doesn't believe in
Mhm.
ghosts anymore, is because most videos they're seeing over here is
Mhm.
badly fake. And I mean, you can
Mhm.
see like the string pulling either the door or the object that moved. You can just see like the string. Yeah, so stuff like that.
Yeah. It,
They've been getting better with it here,
mhm.
and they're, I mean, a lot of the videos that we see is just like people just, did you hear that? Did you
Mhm.
hear that? And they'll, I mean, overlay sounds and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
Or you can
they'll-
tell it's the speaker from the next
Yeah.
internet room. That's why they don't go in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that guy that I just did my last video on, you
Mhm.
could tell that he's using like a spirit talking, like an S box type audio thing, maybe necrophonic, probably what he was using, but you can hear it overlaid with like a text to speech type thing. So he'll
Mm.
play audio while it's going of something that he wants it to say. It's, yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, but they'll do anything just to get the numbers out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even
And
even buying
yeah,
buying
yeah,
subs and buying views and
yeah, yeah.
all right.
It's it makes it harder for us
It
who
does.
really work hard at what we do, and we bust our butts doing it right. And we make it real, and we spend hours doing what we do, and we say it is, and is we say what it is, and you don't go out there spending 3 seconds and say, "Oh, did you hear that?" Sorry, that doesn't happen, right, Josh? You know that. I know that. We all know that. I mean, even with me going to the cemetery, it took me an hour and a half to find something, to even see something, because they don't trust you in the beginning, and it takes a lot of. They have trust issues, right? And so it took me a little while to find something, and by the time we found something, we had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah,
When we investigate, though, if we do hear something, we're going
yeah,
to go and try to locate what's making that noise and
yeah,
maybe even try to recreate
yeah,
whatever happened.
yeah. And sometimes you can't, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't because it's not in the cards to recreate whatever happened. Or, I think the hardest place to do is outside where you got the elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
That's why I don't like doing the public one because, like I said,
well,
there's
I do the public ones with it.
yeah,
I
well,
don't
there's
mind.
too much interference.
Yeah,
Especially when you film it. If I'm in a park and you hear a voice, how do
yeah,
you know if it's a spirit? Especially if I'm like, oh, look, I can't see anyone. That doesn't mean there's not someone in that park.
yeah,
They might just see what I'm doing and might want to mess with me.
yeah.
Yeah. And reviewing it, I mean, while you're reviewing the video and audio, I mean, a gust of wind could have went by without it being too much, but it was
Hmm.
enough to make a noise in front of the microphone. And
Hmm.
there's just too much stuff that it
Yeah.
can be. You got a couple questions? Did you already answer that one? Or
So one of my favorite places back in the States is a smaller place in North Carolinas.
Hmm.
It is near Charlotte, which is where I lived for like 10 years before Japan. There is a place called the Trivet Center or a Trivet Clinic where it was an old hospital, then it was a nursing home before it was owned by the people who own it now. They they mostly use the whole property as a nursery, but they also leave
Hmm.
that little area because of its history and it being haunted. They leave it open for investigations. They usually try not to charge too much because they actually want people in there. It's somewhere I would go to. 'Cause it was haunted. You did get activity. Like I said, it's not one of the bigger places,
Yeah.
but the ghosts were also friendly in there, so I
Hmm.
didn't feel bothered if I had to be in a basement because there was a basement, the first floor, the second floor.
Hmm.
With it being as old as it is, and back then you didn't have to have like insulation in floorboards or whatever sound traveled. So if
Hmm.
you ever do go to North Carolina, I do recommend this place, but I also recommend it in smaller groups just because sound can travel. So this way, you have to at least have that. If you're gonna split up, at least have that floor in between, or at least have someone even outside around the building. You can hear footsteps walking around. You'll catch stuff. But I go there with different people who'd be like, "Yeah, I want you to join our team." I'd be like, "Well, meet me here. I want to make sure I can investigate with all of you because I'm not
Hmm.
going to go to any bigger investigations or any home investigations or so till I know for sure I can investigate with you." That was like my test kind of place, or that'd be my place. I'd go to bring people, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to get better. I want to know more about investigations." I would take them there and kind of train them, and that's what I also learned. That's also where I see a lot of people.
Hmm.
I wasn't good terms with the owners. That's also why I felt okay bringing different people there.
Hmm.
They told me they trusted me, even though they might get a bad vibe from the other people.
Hmm.
turns out they were right. I mean, once you start doing, and a lot of people say that, once you start doing enough tours, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of pick up on people. And they're like, yeah, I can. So it was one of those things where they could kind of already tell. I'm probably not gonna want to come back with them again. I'm probably not going to do it again with them. And there's some of them that would be right. Like there would be some that I just felt like they were being disrespectful to the spirit, which doesn't make sense because, like I said, the spirits in there are friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're telling you, so they have occasionally told people to fuck off. When they
Mm.
do that, though, it's because of what you did,
Yeah.
and they just don't want to talk to you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're more than likely going to get more activity from them. Be nice.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
It's also that place I tell the story of where I'd be walking in there. There was one girl's room. Her name was Nancy, but she was a resident there. People are in her room, and I could just be like, all right, you guys are getting too much. Go check somewhere else.
Mm.
And as soon as they left, I walked in, and I was the only girl in this group. All of a sudden, perfume was, it felt like, and it smelled like it was just sprayed in my face,
Mm.
followed by her. I didn't have anything on at the time. You heard a female voice say thank you, and I just started laughing. And so I'm like, yeah, I knew she did not, because she was like, I'm not having it. They weren't getting anything anyway, so I'm like, go try somewhere else, just
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else. But yeah, if
Mm.
you didn't get activity there, it's more likely it's because of how you treated them.
Yeah.
One of the two things that happened, just real quick, that one of the two things that happened that is still not that's got me on the fence is perfume.
Mm.
I had heard, obviously, watching channels and even back on the TV shows. I remember the first one was Ghost Hunters when they were on cable TV, and they're
Mm.
talking about cigar smoke. But I've heard that like smell perfume, smell of cigar smoke, and I always thought like whatever. But yeah, I actually one of the two things was I had the perfume smell, and it's like it just stayed in my area, and then it
Mm-hmm.
just slowly went away. I tried like trying to find it, like I moved around like trying to like figure out where it's coming from, and it was completely gone. Like within a couple, maybe it hung around for maybe 15 seconds or so around that. But yeah, once it was gone, it was like completely gone. It was really weird.
Mm.
I don't fully know if I believe in the whole cigarette or cigar smoke, just because of the fact is you don't realize that cigar and cigarette smoke can stick
Yeah.
around for a while. They can be,
Yeah.
you know,
Or the next
they
door
get
neighbors outside smoking the cigarette, or somebody in the area smoking the cigarette or a
yeah,
cigar, and it releases it into the air, right?
it can also it gets into literally everything. So you might have brushed up against something, it kind of released the smoke smell,
Mm-hmm.
like literally.
Yeah.
If you've ever been, especially around cigars, it gets
Yeah.
into everything and it stays for a while. And then randomly, you might, sit on a couch and it comes back up at you. It's just that's why I don't believe in the cigarette smells. It literally gets into everything.
I think it's more like in the wintertime or when it's cold. Like if I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I know that like if like when I'm at work and if somebody comes inside, like I can even like feel like how like I know that it's cold out and I can just like smell like I just feel like that the smell of it is stronger when it comes off of them. Like you can tell that this person just put a cigarette out before they walked in the store.
Yeah, that's why I said it gets into everything. It stays for a while, so it might have been left there. Or as
I just
Irene
got
said,
kicked out.
Irene, what has been your favorite place to investigate?
My place would be the Keontaeki, the Suicide Waterfall, or um, there's another place, uh, Nico Shrine, the place where all the samurais had a big, huge battle, sword fighting battle, and they all perished in the mountains. That was really cool. I got affected. Excuse me. I didn't feel good. It made me sicker than a dog. I couldn't climb the mountain. I couldn't climb the stairs to see their plots where they were buried. Yeah, it it really it made me really ill. But I didn't feel that before a long time ago because I wasn't into my abilities till now. And then I want to go back, and I think that's the most interesting place to see and feel. Because if you want to feel spirits, you could feel it there. And the Suicide Waterfall, that's a great place to visit because it doesn't hit you till you take a picture. When you take a still picture with either your regular phone or your phone or whatever, you'll be able to see their faces in the waterfall, and you won't see no waterfall. You see a bunch of faces, and it comes out really creepy.
Hmm.
Eh,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. And there's another small waterfall near it where the kids used to jump off the waterfall too, in that small area. And I said, yeah, that's weird too. But yeah, that place is extremely haunted, and they don't tell you it's haunted till you walk in the tunnel, and they have a little Buddhist god there saying that this is to protect the spirits who who unalive themselves in the waterfall. That's the only thing that you'll get there that's haunted, because they won't tell you that it's haunted. And it's about 700 people plus who jumped in the waterfall after the Second World War. And yeah, I'm not going to get into it because if you saw other shows, you'll find out why. And it's the most saddest place to go to. It's a beautiful place to see the waterfall. It's one of the tallest waterfalls in the mountains, not too about what a couple hours away from Tokyo. And it's a great place to spend an afternoon. And if you're into the paranormal, you could talk to them. They'll come and they'll talk to you. The spirits will have a great conversation with you. And yeah, it's just a wonderful place to visit. The other one is Nico Shrine. Uh, yeah, if you're really not worried about it, you could climb the stairs to see the samurai warriors plots. But if you get affected, just be careful. Wear your protection when you go there. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring mine. Oh well. So yeah, those are the great two places that I like to visit, and
The, the
they're not too.
suicide the suicide waterfall she's talking about is once Japan lost the war to America, they
Hmm.
assumed America was going to come over and just take over their whole way of life. Shit, they didn't want that.
Hmm.
So basically, a whole group of people jumped to their death at this waterfall.
Hmm. And extremely haunted even to this day.
It might be friendly talking to you, but I don't think they'd be friendly talking to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if they
The,
died because they didn't like Americans, that's what I would say. I don't think they'd
yeah.
be as friendly with me.
Yeah. It's just weird. Amanda, I got kicked out, right? Because
Yeah,
we were talking about the smells, and it didn't like me talking about it, so it kicked me out. Damn it! I haven't been kicked out in a long time, right?
it's like, why are you trying to go with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I had something in my head. I was gonna say in Japan, if the spirit is coming near you, you'd smell of burning incense, and it get really strong, and you could smell like sometimes when I'm sitting in my room, I said, "Okay, somebody died. Okay, who died? Like, what's going on here?" And I said, "Who are you?" And and then it wouldn't say anything, and it just leave right away from me. And I said, "Okay, be gone with you." I'm like, I wasn't calling anybody. It was just really weird. If I think about it, they know I'm thinking about it, right? They know it's okay. You're thinking about it. You should be talking about this. Yeah, we're gonna stop your conversation, and you're gonna get kicked out. So I get kicked out. Well, that's nothing new. The same old, same old.
I feel with you.
Boom.
I love the debunking community myself, just because, like I said, I mean, it keeps everyone honest. Because there is some people who unfortunately believe everything they see on YouTube or TikTok,
Yeah.
and that might not be the case either. Or
No.
there's people trying to use it to fake help people. They're just making situations worse.
Yeah.
There's also fake mediums out there, which I
Yeah.
know Josh knows who I'm talking about with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna. There's just people like that that need to be pointed out for that reason is because a lot of people see these people and like, oh, they must be so good. Look at all the stuff they're getting. Watch their videos. The videos are so good, and it's not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
real evidence.
No. Or
And then
they're there to,
unfortunately, that's who everyone is going to for. That's what some
or
people are
they're,
going to for help.
or they're there to scare the person, right?
Yeah.
And like, what does that prove? You're gonna scare the shit out of the homeowner, or you're gonna scare the shit out of that person because they said, "Oh, you got an attachment." I go, "Yeah, okay." Now you tell me. Now what am I gonna do? Like, what do I do about this? Right? Say, okay, see ya, bye. It'll cost you another $50 or another $100 for me to help you, right? Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
I
Well,
think the most common things that debunkers get from like when we do a video on somebody, it's usually we're jealous or
Mhm.
damn it, I was just thinking about it and I but I can't even remember what the other one was. Um, I don't really get that much hate. I don't know, maybe because I mean I'm a smaller channel,
Mhm.
but it's not like um I do it to be an asshole or anything. I mean I do it because like I said, with knowing that I used to investigate, I mean I'm sure I still will here and there, but I
Mhm.
spent so much time investigating, going off by what these people were doing and telling me, and it was all lies. So it's just my way of I don't if I'm able to help like some team that's just getting started and not make the same mistakes that I made, then I mean
or if
that's
someone is considering reaching out to that person for
Yeah.
help, but they
Yeah.
oh yeah,
came across
definitely.
your video
Yeah.
debunking them, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be calling this person. Because if you're not into the paranormal community,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you don't really know who to call. So if you look up paranormal teams in your area, more likely you're going to find, especially in the states, a lot in your states,
Mhm.
and you're just going to find the first one because you don't really you don't know the difference. Like I said, you're not in the paranormal community. You don't know the difference, and you're
Yeah.
just like you go see their videos. You're like, well, okay, that looks good because you wouldn't even know what you're looking for. You're like, yeah, okay,
No.
that looks good, and that's what happened.
Yeah. And like, take everything with a grain of salt too, because sometimes you will find an explanation, or sometimes there is something that may not be 100% true about it. I guess that's why I don't watch any more videos on YouTube or anything like that anymore, because mm, yeah,
Yeah.
like, I
We
deal with
there
my own. You
there
deal
was
with your
someone
own thing.
who there was someone who said they had a follow up with someone because she was I forgot the exact age, but she's in her 80s.
Mm-hmm.
She thought she had some paranormal activity in her house, so she contacted a couple of teams. One of them, but she obviously went with the first person to come out there, and this person had a follow up, had to help this lady, had to fix everything this team did because this team literally walked in. The reason why I say her age, and I feel like that's important, is because they walked into this 80-some-year-old woman's house, said, you had two portals open in your house. You also have two demons in your house. You cannot close the portals. There's no way to close them, and there's no way to get rid of these demons. Have a nice night and left. I'm like, how do you say that to someone elderly? And I'm like, you can literally scare someone to death.
Yeah.
Because
Just
now she's
make a quick buck.
panicking. Luckily, they followed up with her. This team followed up. They're like, yeah, you said you're having this team. They come out. How was it? And they heard that. They're like, yeah, we dropped everything and went out there because we're like, yeah, no, we're not. And he was like, it wasn't even close to that. And everything's been fine since we left. It wasn't even anything close. They were
You
just
know,
lying for, I guess, views or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah,
you
you should
know,
not. This is why not
I know.
everyone.
How much did he swindle this old lady out of, right?
I
Like,
don't know. They
really?
never said. I don't know if she ever told them, but that's what I'm saying is some people do it for money. Some people just do it because, oh, I'd make a good video. If I don't know what they did. They could have faked stuff. They never said. This not like the elderly lady would even know. Let's be
Damn.
honest. If you're not
It,
into the paranormal, especially if you're older, and someone comes out there, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know that they're probably setting stuff off their cell phone or whatever they're doing.
yeah.
You're believing them. You're like, yeah, we tried to help you, but the demon just won't go away.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely people will do it for free just so that they can make a video. I
Yeah.
mean, I, I know we both definitely know somebody that does it
yeah,
and still does it,
yeah,
and
yeah. It's unbelievable, right? I mean, the stuff that goes on, the stuff that, like, everyone knows, like, us true investigators know that there's only 1% that's a real demon in the house. That's less than 1% that happens. And you gotta be some kind of stupid. I think I get more frustrated with that kind of thinking. I don't know. It makes me want to quit sometimes. But I don't. I can't. I know I can't quit. I know I can't quit because it's in my blood and I'm here to help people and I'll do it and I'll come out in a heartbeat for you and I will be honest with you and I will help you and I don't promise anything, but I will try to help you if you have problems and okay. I get angry. Sorry about that. I get really passionate about it. And it bothers me about when I hear stuff like that, Amanda. It really tears me apart, you know. Uh,
Honestly, my biggest fear is what if something happened to that elderly. They're lucky nothing happened to that elderly lady. Like
Yeah,
she didn't have a heart attack or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Or
It is
she could
possible
have
to
a
get scared to
stroke.
death.
Or she could have
Yeah,
a stroke. I mean, jeez, like I think they have an empty head or grab some brains or whatever or I don't know. People will say
that and
anything to other people.
she's gonna be petrified every second that she's in her house. More
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
likely
what I'm saying. You're
alone. I mean, it's the rest of her life being tortured because some idiot wanted to make a video.
and
like I said, you don't know. She
yeah.
probably didn't. She wouldn't realize when someone would be faking stuff or
Yeah.
setting
Right.
stuff off, or know that with those phone apps, those ghost box phone apps,
Mm.
Yeah,
you can actually kind of make it say what you want to, just
yeah.
by saying words, because it'll start
Hmm.
eventually repeating words back. Like I could walk up to it, start whispering to my phone, demon, 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 demon. Eventually,
Mm,
it's gonna be like when I say, "What are you, demon?"
right.
I know GhostTube, when you pay for it, you're allowed to put in your own custom words, whatever, like because
Mm,
it has so many words in its dictionary. You
mhm,
can add words to it whenever you pay for it, and we paid for it. Actually, Ernie, the guy that I used to investigate with, he got it, and he put in our names
mhm,
because they. I mean, I'm surprised that neither one of them were in it, but maybe he might have spelled it different, but he put in our names, and the first time that we used it, within the first maybe 20 minutes, it already said both of our names because the app
mm,
knows that it wants, obviously, if we're putting that word in, we want it to say it. So I think
mhm.
it's I think it knows that, and it spit those words out pretty quick.
It could also, from what people said who don't pay for it, they say like they'll say a name of someone who's been there so many times that eventually, because it is listening to everything you say, that it probably for Josh blank amount of time. So it's just it'll say Josh. You're like, oh my god, call for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy the way that these phones are anymore because um I work I'm a vendor, so I go to the stores and there's stuff that I stock that it's one of them was something that I'd never seen before. But I
Hmm.
know it's been around, but it was something that I've never seen before, and it's something that I would never buy.
Mm.
And my phone was close enough to it. I don't know how, but
Hmm.
I was stalking it. I never said the name of it. Came home, turned on YouTube, and there's a commercial for it. Like the odds of that happening, and that's happened many times.
It's always listening to you.
I mean, I feel like it's doing more than just listening because, like I said, I never even said the name of it. I don't know if maybe like your phone because you can scan barcodes and stuff with your phone. I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
if it's catching those barcodes and using that information. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I got to run down here and pee real quick. Energy drinks. I'll be right back.
Okay. My phone got really hot, so I had to go to the fridge to get an ice pack. For some reason, it every time we do this conversation, if we're really deep in the paranormal, it heats up, and it's yeah, it's really crazy. Depending on how deep we are in the conversation of it,
Yeah,
it just makes it really hot, and then I lose everything. I've done that before. Man, I tell ya, weird conversations create weird problems, right? I'm surprised that you didn't lose your conversation. I'm surprised
what's
that
that?
I'm surprised it didn't kick you out.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
Yeah. The one hell did it kick me out, right? Ah, you're lucky. Damn.
Not. I didn't actually. I haven't been into any big places in Ohio. Maybe like smaller abandoned places in Ohio, and that's
Hmm.
because I had family that lived in Ohio, so that'd be like
Mm,
the only time I was really in Ohio. Because on that, I didn't really have to need to be in Ohio. Because originally I grew up in Michigan,
mm,
so obviously some places in Michigan. You start off obviously in like graveyards,
mm-hmm,
Michigan and Montana, then some in Arizona before North Carolina, then
mm-hmm.
finally
They have a lot of weird places in Michigan, don't they? Um,
they do.
and you know, old hotels where a long time ago they 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 haul the slaves in the base in the underground, right? And they
Yeah,
had train tracks, and some that's really crazy haunted, and some buildings are really freaky haunted in Michigan. It's yeah, it's one of those places that has the history rich in it, and some of it is really like you don't want to talk about it. That's really creepy haunted.
yeah, AI is taking over everything now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you let it take over, right?
Well, it's
Just
they're putting AI into literally everything, so it's not really going to matter. Sooner or like
yeah.
later, you're going to be using stuff to, and it's going to force you at some point to do something with AI because people think AI is easier, or they do
Yeah.
stuff with AI so they no longer have to pay people. Like I
Hmm.
know people are they literally put AI into everything, or they're using robots. I'm pretty sure soon they'll probably put AI into the robots. Like there's McDonald's in U.S. is there's starting to be more of a thing with more testing right now, where
Mm-hmm.
it's not there's not staff, it's all
Mm.
robots.
Okay.
Because it's like
That's
how
what.
dare because I think back then they were demanding more money, so their whole thing is, yeah, good luck, we're gonna replace you with robots, so I just have to pay them one
Hmm.
time, and that's that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like intel jobs they're trying to get AI to do, so they don't have to pay people.
Hmm. That's what they have in the hotel staff in the when you register. There's a hotel that has female robots.
Yes, there's female. I've seen that because
Yeah.
I thought about
You,
saying there is one.
yeah.
I know there's at least one in Tokyo. There's at least one Osaka where it's not staffed by, at least the front is not staffed by people. It
Yeah.
is robots because they're just like, you don't have, because they're also like, well, if you don't want to talk to people, just go check into this hotel in Osaka. It
Yeah.
is robots. There's like three different robots you can pick from. I
Yeah.
forgot what the third one is. I know one of them is like a human lady, not human lady,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
look look as possible to a human lady. You go there, you
Hmm.
select your language. The second one is a dinosaur. I don't remember
Hmm.
what the third one is. Yeah, I just remember it's robot.
Yeah.
And I'm
Eh,
just like I'm almost tempted to book this just to be able to check in with the robot with a dinosaur. So she'd be like, "Yeah, my front desk person was a dinosaur."
I'd be tempted just to check in the hotel to do that just
Yeah, that's
once.
what I'm saying. It's so tempting. So you can, but it's always for that reason. I think it sells out pretty quick.
But you know what? They're not that expensive, right? Just saying. Like sometimes the most you'll pay is about $80 a night, right?
I don't know about not the robot ones.
Yeah, they're
Just a
not
little
that
bit more.
expensive. Yeah, they're not that expensive because they don't have front desk people, so they charge
But
less
you're
for
still
the.
paying. It still sells out pretty quick because the gimmick is
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
people more.
We
The
should try
humans
it.
probably
We
have
should
to
try
go
that,
in and
Amanda.
clean it
We
though,
should do
right?
that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know the front desk people are robots.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
cleaning as of right now is still humans.
yeah. Uh, we should try that, Amanda, one night.
I've been so tempted. I've been
Just to see what we can get out of it.
there is one. We're gonna have to
uh,
go there, Irene, sometime. There is actually one restaurant in Tokyo that's completely even like your server is a robot.
mm,
Yeah, I've seen videos of that. The
we have a
robot
place
servers.
where you can get hot pot place, right? And you order from a tablet, okay? And then the robot looks like a little kitty cat, and and he has shelves on the back of him, and he bring your meat on this on this kitty cat robot, and when you finish, you send him away by pressing a button on his face, and you send him back. He makes this really cute little music when he comes to your table.
Mm. When it comes to AI, I mean, it's gonna make it harder with like the videos, paranormal
Oh
stuff.
yeah, there people using AI now for faking paranormal videos.
Mm,
I mean, luckily with it being newer, sometimes you can tell, but it's still with it getting better and better.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna make it harder for debunkers, but that's only if they are good enough. I mean, but somewhere down the line, they're going to end up slipping up, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
uh,
That's why I always said it's always good to go with yourself, a good old tape recorder. You yourself and just take your own camera and just click off a lot of pictures and learn to have fun, learn to see what's there, and learn to take in the atmosphere and just go with it. I think that's what I do a lot more, and I just leave everything at home.
yeah.
it takes the fun out of investigating. When you have to worry about this and that, and turn this and that on, and it's gonna drain your batteries no matter what you do, right?
Mm-hmm. I used to for each investigation I used to have my duffel bag full of stuff, my backpack full of stuff, and by the end all I had was my backpack, and it just had like my backup battery, just stuff for my cameras, and I said just a REM pod. That was it.
Yeah. I think it makes it easier.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I anytime I've asked a lot of teams, what piece of equipment do you think everyone can do without? And it's always a lot of them is the flashlight grids, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used them. I don't know for some odd reason in videos. A lot of people love them, but a lot of actual paranormal investigators hate them because, and I'm one of them who hates them just because of the fact is it's never done anything on investigations. I've asked other teams who's used them. I'm like, have you ever caught anything with it? And like, no, I just don't think it works because it's. But that's just
Another one
me.
that I don't like is the cat balls, because they can go
Uh,
off even with vibration right in the
yeah.
room. And I ha- I was part of this other group, the paranormal team, who used cat balls and everything else. And as soon as it went up, they said, "Thank you for answering my question." I said, "What? How do you know that was the spirit who answered, who said something? How do you know it was the vibration in the room? Like, did you ever even try to debunk what you're doing?" And they just took it as that, and went with that,
Mm-hmm.
and rode with that, and that was the end of that. And you can't ask questions, because if you did, they tell you to go blank off, right? So, oh well, okay. I mean, to each his own, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with them, but that's what they believe. That's what they believe. Okay.
Ernie, the guy that I investigated with, he had one of those grids, but it was
Mhm.
he way too much money he spent on it. He bought it and then told me that he got it. I was like, man, we could have gotten like a new camera for the price of that. But
Yeah.
so it comes with a stand, and the back of it's got a screen on it, and it's got
Mhm.
the grid on the back, and
Mhm.
then it'll light up on the screen, so you
Mhm.
don't have to sit there and constantly watch the grid on the wall. It'll
Mhm.
show you on the little screen. It'll light up red if
Mhm.
something's like if it changes. But
Mhm.
yeah, we maybe looked at it for like 5 minutes after setting it up, and that was it. We never paid attention to it.
Mhm.
It I knew it wasn't going to come in handy for us, and
Yeah, well, I've done it where other teams have done it where they set up cameras and that just to see if anything ever throughout the night, and majority no. So that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I don't feel like it adds to anything. That's just my personal take. There is some people out there who love them, but majority I think it.
yeah, and that comes with a lot of equipment. Honestly, I mean, the SLS camera is a big known thing that
Mhm.
a lot of people love to use,
Mhm.
but they walk around with it, and the way that it was designed to work is it has to be stationary. It has to sit in one spot for it to actually work,
Mhm.
and it's not meant to pick up things that aren't. It's not. I mean, people can say that it's picking up ghosts, but you can map out anything that looks. I mean, I would say that looks like a figure, but I've seen it map out stuff that you wouldn't even think. I think I had like a monster logo, like the monster can,
Mhm.
monster energy drink, the M on
Mhm.
it. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it mapped out a person with that.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought about getting one at one point, but then someone else talked me out of it. They're like, no, I don't think they work well.
Yeah.
So
What
you're
is
gonna
it? The
be
one
even if
that.
you did think you did film something and it's saying it's there. you're going to be questioning it, then it's not worth it.
What if it's the one that detects heat and cold? There's the thermal.
Yeah.
That's another one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it works or
Um,
not.
I mean, that one would probably be better to use. I mean, because it's actually going to tell you the temperature of something. So, I mean, you can't really argue with that one. I mean, it's not
Mm,
going to give you false readings because it's made to
okay.
give you pretty much the temperature of something.
Because a lot of times, a lot of people will say, if there's a spirit around, it's a cold spot, right? And it does sometimes come out really cold.
We actually got something pretty interesting with one. We still don't know what the hell it is, but we were at a location. This was during our misguided um, time, but
Mm-hmm.
we had a REM pod, and it just started going off like crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
we were looking. Ernie brought the thermostat up and was looking, and
Mm-hmm.
underneath where it was at, it was a really cold spot, and we don't know what it was, but
Wow.
I'm pretty sure what was setting it off was a uh, internet router because there was one not too far away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that's what set that off, but that doesn't explain the spot in the floor. Like it stayed the entire time. It was
Wow, that's
that
interesting.
was weird.
That was interesting. Stuff like that is really, really, really wow. Like,
It, it was during the winter time too, so it's not like it was like a central
yeah.
air or nothing like that.
No, no window was open or anything like that, right? So it was
No.
a controlled area, right?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. The place didn't have any heat, so I mean, we were freezing our asses off at this location.
You were turning into icicles too.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just one certain spot that just
Kept on getting cold, right?
yeah. I mean, it stayed that way the entire time.
That's interesting.
It's pretty neat.
Which could have been an anomaly or maybe a spirit just standing there in front of you, right?
Yeah, I
Being
mean,
intrigued. What the heck are you doing, right? Like, what are you doing?
if I was, I mean, if it was now, I mean, I would have done a lot more like
Yeah.
debunking and try to figure out what it was. But back then, I was like, all right, we
Yeah,
got it. It's cool. It's paranormal.
Yeah.
there is a lot of things I wish I could go back and help younger me with, especially with investigation stuff that you know now, stuff
Yeah,
that you're like, man, why didn't I do this then? Especially people. Every time I say that, people are like, yeah, I wish back then we also knew like the SS method to see if that worked back then too. I think that became more of a recent thing.
yeah. I mean, there's times that it's like, man, I wasted a year of being so misguided and just wasted all that. But in a way, I mean, it's like I have that knowledge of like what other people are doing and being able to like I don't know explain it in my videos. Like I know this is what they're doing because how I did the same shit.
So if you're wondering also how Japan views the paranormal, it is not something you can admit to being into here. It is something where, if, like I said before, there is no paranormal team here. You cannot book private locations. It's not. It's one of those things where if they think it's haunted, more likely they're going to board it up to the public because their fear is if this spirit gets angry, they don't know what to do. We don't have anyone to call. We don't have anyone here claiming to be a demonologist. We don't have anyone here to cleanse the place. It's just
Oh man,
it,
don't let
it,
don't
it is
let
what
these
it is.
big channels know that they'll be moving there.
And that's sometimes it's refreshing that you don't have people claiming they are. I mean, there are. I know there are real demonologists out there. I'm not calling anyone out there because anyone in particular. So if someone's listening, I feel like I'm targeting them. I didn't mention anyone by in particular. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who wake up I'm going to be a demonologist because it sounds cool. Or take an online course, and they feel like that online course is enough. They're like, well, I have a certificate that says I'm a demonologist. No, you're not. I can make fun of that course because I was making fun of that course. So I decided one day, you know what? I am going to take it to see what exactly is it about. And it's mostly common knowledge stuff or stuff you already kind of knew. Even joining paranormal, so it's not even. I won't even. It doesn't even scratch the surface of what you need to know about demonology, like at all. So that's yeah. So I'm like, yeah. It takes actual. It takes a lot of research, a lot of knowledge to be a real demonologist. It also takes real training
Mm-hmm.
for you to be considered one.
Yeah.
Somehow here in Japan, you cannot admit that you're into the paranormal. You
No.
also cannot admit you've seen a ghost or you're into
No.
ghosts. That's why here in Japan, if you do see anyone doing, paranormal investigations, going to haunted places, they're either behind the camera or they blur out their face or they have a mask on. So you don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
There has been
And
people who here whose claims they've seen a ghost will lose their job. It's not like in America where like, well, when you go on investigations, you don't drive the work truck, you don't have a logo on your shirt, you don't mention it in your videos, so there's nothing we can do about it.
yeah.
Here, that's not the thing. Your boss could just get word from someone else that you might be into ghosts, or you might have seen a ghost. You're probably going to lose your job.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's
Even
been airline pilots here who's
yeah.
either been taken
They've
off
been
being a pilot to they're just now doing paperwork
yes.
to maybe just losing their
They've
job
been
completely if they say they
yeah.
saw
Yeah.
possibly a UFO or something they can't describe
Yeah.
in the air.
That's why, you know, us in private, we really don't tell anybody what we do. Um. We don't we don't acknowledge the public in privacy in our own lives. We don't tell anybody what we do, but the only time we can do is we can talk about it on our podcast, right? Other than that, we just don't say anything to anybody. Like I can't tell anybody either that I see dead people. I can't tell anybody either, or I can't tell anybody that oh you got blah 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 or it's got blah blah blah. I can't tell anybody that either, because I'll be sent to the biggest funny farm in the whole wide world in Japan.
Yeah.
Like they'll say, you need therapy. And I go, no, I don't. And I go, yes, you do. And that, I just, it's
What
better.
about your guys' like your channel and stuff? Do you get anything for this?
No.
We do have people. Well, I've looked at the statistics once, and we do have some listeners in Japan, but they're
Hmm.
not public.
They're not.
I'll still take it. I'll still take it. I will
Yeah.
still take it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Cool. We're excited, but it's not. Are they reaching out to us? No. We tell them they're safe, but they're still like I don't think they want to risk knowing anyone knowing that they're into the paranormal,
Yeah.
or they could be listening to us Irene thinking that we're crazy. That could be it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't contact us.
Does this
I,
work for like religious too? Like like people here say that they've seen Jesus or something like that. What about is anything like that like within your guys's like the religions over there ever
um,
claim that they've seen something like that? Does that go with the same thing as seeing a ghost?
I know
um,
it'd be Buddha. I don't. Who would it be first? Because it's the two major religions here are Buddhism and
yeah.
that's the number one, and Shintoism number two. Who is it for the Shinto? Because you're that. You're
There are more Catholics where Amanda lives because the first ship from Spain and Portugal came to the island where Amanda lives, and there are more religious people there. Uh, there, uh, religions and and samurai warriors don't get along. Like it's like adding oil and water to it, right? So they crucified 100. Well, sorry, they crucified how many? 25 people, followers, and two priests, one brother and one priest, where Amanda lives, and on a hill. And there's another place in Kyoto where it's mostly Buddhism. They have the biggest Buddhist temple in Kyoto, and on in a hill, on a big hill in the forest, they crucified another 25 followers and the priest in this forest in the hill. But that place is really haunted. I mean, then because the tragedy that happened there, they erected two statues, one of Mother Mary and one of Jesus Christ, who had his hands. I think he was like this. I think Mother Mary was like this. Oh, no, Jesus Christ was like this. Mother Mary was like this. And right now, dogma happens where blood run trickles down out of the teardrops of Jesus Christ and Mother Mary, and blood runs out of the hands of Mother Mary and Jesus Christ. And no scientist would ever go in that area to even figure out why, because they're afraid. Any scientists in Japan are mostly basic on proof, but when it comes to paranormal, they'll they'll go running. They're not gonna go in there and they're not gonna ask questions or not gonna do studies on it because they themselves are scared of what something freaky happening.
Hmm.
But it is one of the most haunted places in that forest. And I've been to the one in Nagasaki where they have um crucified the priests and the followers, and I tell you, that's a really creepy feeling when you go up that hill. Um, it's one of the most hottest tourist spots, but still, if you're really into your abilities, if you have any time of abilities, you could feel the energy. It's just different. The air is different, but nobody wants to study it, right? Because it's too creepy.
They leave paranormal alone here. That's
Yeah,
their
yeah,
approach to paranormal is you leave it
yeah,
alone
yeah.
so it doesn't get angry.
It won't bother you unless you don't bother it.
You build it a shrine, hope it appeases it enough to not be angry at
Yeah,
you, or at least
yeah.
leave you alone.
But you know what? That shrine is pretty haunted itself, right, Amanda?
A lot of shrines here, so yeah, there's
Yeah, like they're freaky haunted. Like you wouldn't
they just
believe.
hope that they don't come and hurt them. Basically, that's what the whole purpose of a lot of shrines. That is actually the purpose of a lot of shrines, which
Yeah,
I found out being here was a lot of them were built to appease an angry spirit because they're like, you're being vengeful, and we're hoping this at least you take this contribution and you stop wreaking havoc in our lives.
yeah. But it doesn't matter if you're sensitive. Boy, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks, like it hit me the other day. Okay, I'm not gonna go there, but yeah. I mean, it's
I think that's the way like the older people over here see it. Like you can't be interested in the paranormal because like if you admit that you're a paranormal investigator, they just automatically assume that you like worship the devil and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
yeah,
like
How
you
many
can't.
times?
It,
yeah,
It's ridiculous how many times I've already been told from people that because I'm into the paranormal, I'm going to hell. So I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll see my fellow weirdos at the bar in hell then. If that's all it takes, and you're trying to tell me there's absolutely nothing I can do to be saved because I'm into the paranormal, and I'm like, well, thank you for admitting that me going to church would be pointless if I still believe in the paranormal. I'm still into
yeah.
the paranormal.
I just don't do it anymore because I've been scrutinized a couple times by parishioners saying you can't be doing this. I said, why not? Because it's not right. Who says it's right or who says it's wrong, right, Amanda? Like
right.
who tells you, Josh? Who could tell you to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong? Like, give me a reason why. they won't give you a reason. It's just because it's wrong. Okay.
Mm. It's just
Like,
a they said they.
yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
they say it's the, I guess something with the Bible.
yeah. But okay, fine. Like, I won't go to church anymore. I haven't gone to church for a little while now. I'm non practicing, but I still use my prayers. I still do my cleansing. I still do stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm glad I know it. But as far as going to churches, I don't want to be scrutinized anymore. And imagine knows the feeling too. And you just feel all alone, right? And because you see things differently, not in a single dimension, but it's in different dimensions. You see things and you feel things differently, and it's just, yeah. And I've been called a weirdo too.
No, that's what we're saying is that we said this
Were
one time is anytime we're flipping through videos or reels or TikToks or anything, and they start off with "Hello, weirdo." We're like, "Hi." We know it's somebody in the paranormal either going to tell us about ghosts, a cryptid, or an alien, or something along those lines, and we're just waiting to see what paranormal thing they're going to be telling us about. And I'm like, it's funny how we all kind of like silently agreed that we can call each other weirdos, and it's
Mm,
not offensive.
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with being curious and what happens after you die. I mean,
It's a
I don't
natural
I don't
science.
I don't see it being really much any different than somebody
yeah,
here believing in God. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah. It,
like
it,
it's something that nobody knows for fact,
yeah.
and it's
I have questions, and I'm trying
And
to
you know what? I used to
get.
be afraid of dying, but since I've been in this field, I'm no longer afraid anymore. I'm more open and I'm more relaxed, and I'm no longer afraid anymore. It removes the fear of not knowing, and it brings more full circle to the, I don't know, whatever you may call it, right? It's more opening, and you just go into a different dimension, and you're still alive but in a different way, and there's nothing wrong with that.
well,
And there's no fear in it at all. You know, I think it's more serene, and sometimes it'd be better for some. It's better going into that different dimension than being suffering and alive in this dimension. I don't know. It it depends, I guess. I'm looking at it at a Buddhist way, I think. Darn. Uh, I kind of like veered away from that other teachings. I think I've become more Buddhist now than I am Christian now, and I understand a lot more. It makes a lot more sense now.
We're not gonna
It's
know everything because there's certain
no,
things that we even think that they
no,
probably have rules and can't tell us, but it's still one of those things. It's not gonna stop us from trying to seek out more of the truth.
no, no. And the more questions we have, I think the more interesting it becomes, the more answers that we want to find out. And there's nothing wrong with finding out.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions either. What do you feel about it, Josh?
I'm the same way. I mean, that's the main reason why I got into it. It's the curiosity, and
Yeah,
the more I learn. I mean, I don't think in my lifetime I don't think we're going to get any actual proof of it
no,
by the way things are going. I mean, especially with the way things are going that everybody's seeing is that I mean, if you type it in on YouTube, I mean, you're going to find 300,000 videos of people that claim they caught paranormal, but I can't believe any of it.
no.
That's
The thing is, the way that, I have a really weird idea about it. What I see is what I see, okay? But I'm not gonna make you understand what I see. If I see something, okay, it is paranormal for me, but I'm not going to try to twist your arm and tell you that this is what I see. You can believe it or not. If you don't
Right.
believe it, that's fine too. If you do believe it, that's fine too. If you can see it, that's fine too. it's I'm
Yeah.
not going to make you see what I see because that's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, if it came from somebody that I fully trust and they have no reason to make something up, then
Yeah.
I mean that would make it a lot easier. But I
Yeah.
mean, how? Like I said, going back to
Unfortunately,
these people, I mean,
it's not the world is not made up like that, right?
yeah. And I'm probably got to hop off here in just a minute. But
Okay.
like, if somebody like if Kenny Biddle ever came out and said he believes, that would flip the whole debunking community upside down. And anybody in the debunk community would tell you that, because he is
Yeah.
one person that will, like, I mean, I don't know if you guys would be, I mean, interested in chatting with him, but I mean, maybe at least reach out to him. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I think we're open to any idea. I think we're not close enough. We don't have no, we don't believe in this. No, we don't believe. Well, show us. Like talk to us. Like tell us your point of view. I think that's the more interesting, the better it is, right, Amanda?
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We
Yeah,
appreciate it. We'll have to get you
part
on
two.
for an actual proper part two.
Yeah,
That works.
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. Thank you, Josh, for coming
Yes,
on.
thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Everyone else out there, we'll see you
Uh,
next time. Bye for
and
now.
thank you.
yeah.
Bye.
Later.